And I'm with the sports medicine program of Kaiser University. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how protein helps with the soccer athletes and what it does for them and what it does bad for them. We're talking about what a protein is. Protein is part of the six groups of the essential nutrients, which means it's a macronutrient that the body uses to build tissues and regulate body functions, and it also breaks down into an amino acid. Proteins can provide energy, but we don't use them as a primary source. It's mostly carbohydrates and fats. What I'm going to be talking about today is how protein and dopamine work hand in hand. I'm going to be talking to you about how protein helps your body and what a protein is. A protein is part of the six groups of the essential nutrients. It is a macronutrient that the body needs to build tissues and regulate body functions and break down into amino acids. Proteins provide energy, but it's not a primary energy source. We'll be discussing how dopamine and protein affect soccer players' stamina and endurance. Where can you get the type of protein that you need? How protein works with your muscles, and how much protein a soccer player should consume. Dopamine are some of the very few things that simultaneously go hand in hand. Dopamine is something that makes you feel happy and energetic. It's like a wake-up call in the morning. Your body has an immense amount of it when you first wake up because it's kind of like adrenaline. With soccer players, you really do need a lot of dopamine because they're continuously running and exercising and pushing their limits. When dopamine is given to soccer players, it gives them a better motivation, energy, and helps with their potential. When dopamine is low in our bodies, we burn it and run on cortisol, which is a hormone that causes stress to our bodies and can deplete our energy, causing muscle damage and muscle recovery to go slower, which can be really bad for a soccer player because they're constantly running, like I said. Cool things about dopamine and protein is that they go hand in hand. They simultaneously work together. Dopamine can be found in protein, and you can find your normal protein in few things like your normal diet, meats, fruits, vegetables, anything like that. All you need for your healthy dopamine level is to contain a well-balanced diet and eat plenty of protein. That it has real foods, which would be nothing that's artificial or has added preservatives. You should only be eating natural green stuff like whole foods, whole chicken, wild caught salmon. That's because they can easily be digested and have a lot of nutrients naturally infused inside of them. The natural infusion of nutrients that's inside the protein helps your body break down unnecessary items like if you get this flu or anything like that, it helps with a better recovery system. Most protein is tasteful and can already be in your everyday meals. The type of protein include eggs, dairy. Depending on if you're lactose intolerant or not, dairy might not be a good option for you. Fish, poultry, and red meat. The protein that you consume can be organic and free of antibiotics and pollutants. Fish is better when it's caught wild because it has fewer calories, no injected nutrients and antibiotics, and less saturated fat. In sports like soccer, it puts a higher demand on the players' growing bodies, and then the body needs a little higher increase for protein. Although some of the young athletes consume too much protein because they eat burgers, eggs, cheese-filled omelets with ham, others choose a low-calorie protein like chicken breast that is skinless. The athlete should consume more beans, steak, and firm tofu. Some soccer athletes consume protein shakes, which are good when absolutely necessary, but should not replace complete protein meals. The real food protein contain nutrients that protein shakes just don't measure up to. Protein should not be consumed at the time of the game, but either the night before or right after the game to help with recovery and rebuild muscles and replenish the protein loss. Protein must be taken in moderation or else it can give severe damage to the liver and kidneys, which can cause organ shutdown or even death. Proteins work together. Protein is necessary for muscles to regrow and rebuild. While working out, practicing, or playing game time, you can create something called micro tears in the muscle. They're these tiny, tiny, tiny tears in your muscles. There are 21 amino acids that are essential for creating proteins that muscles are made up of, which can help the muscle regrow to be stronger and better than it previously was. Your body can naturally make some of these amino acids from your daily diet and lifestyle. So in turn, the more you work out, the more amino acids you need to recover and repair. If you lack some of the essential amino acids, it creates a limit to how much repair your body can do to your muscles. That is why you need to replenish with protein and real foods. Preserving the muscle mass. The body prefers to use fat and carbohydrates as primary energy sources. It may at times be forced to use protein as fuel because of lack of carbohydrates and fats. Of course, this is not an ideal situation to all, and you have designed the right muscle building diet, and that should never happen. A sufficient amount of protein intake ensures that the immune system will stay strong and will be able to fight off illnesses and diseases when necessary. If your immune system is weak, you are more likely to get sick more often. But having a strong immune system is very important when it comes to high protein food building muscle and gaining weight. In order to maximize our body's ability to build muscle, we need to be healthy. It is important to make sure that you are consuming enough protein in your diet at this time to minimize muscle tissue loss. Intake of any amount of food or nutrients should always be put in moderation so you don't get sick. So how much protein should an active soccer player consume? Well, luckily there is a formula to help you figure that out. What you would do is you take the player's weight in pounds and convert it into kilograms by dividing it by 2.2. Then, after you get the answer for that, you multiply it by 1.2 grams through 1.5 grams, considering how much the player exercises and how much protein body demands for the rebuilding and regrowth stages. So a soccer player can be at the lower end of the scale by being in the 1.2 grams, or they can be in the higher scale of being a 1.5 grams per body weight. Soccer players are continuously on the field in their gym with their muscles are constantly getting micro tears, which puts a higher demand on the need for proteins in their body. Of course, you can replenish these proteins by eating natural, rich, real whole food proteins, and also protein shakes for on the go if necessary. The more protein the player intakes, the more dopamine is released into their body, and the better they feel, look, and perform on and off the court or field. Although it is true that protein must be taken in moderation to prevent issues with organs and severe damage, it also helps with tissue rebuilding. So for on-the-field injuries, the more protein taken in, the faster the healing process. Protein plays a vital role in soccer players, athletes, and everyone else who needs to heal faster or is thinking about exercising and doing it the smart way. People, well, my name is Destiny. I'm with the sports medicine program in Kaiser University, and I'm signing off.